Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today is commemorated as World Sustainable Transport Day, commemorated every year on 26 November. The first World Sustainable Transport Day reminds us that the road to a better future depends on cleaner and greener transportation systems. So, what is sustainable transport? Transport is vital for promoting connectivity, trade, economic growth, and employment, yet it is also implicated as a significant source of greenhouse gas emissions. Resolving these trade-offs is essential to achieving sustainable transport and through the sustainable development. In its 2016 report, the Secretary General's High-Level Advisory Group defined sustainable transport system as the provision of services and infrastructure for the mobility of people and goods, advancing economic and social development to benefit today's and future generations in a manner that is safe, affordable, accessible, efficient, and resilient, while minimizing carbon and other emissions and environmental impacts. So, sustainable transport is therefore not an end in itself, but a means to achieve sustainable development. So, sustainable transport and sustainable development. So, sustainable transport, with its objectives of universal access, enhance safety, reduce environmental and climate impact, improve resilience, and greater efficiency, is central to sustainable development. Apart from providing services and infrastructure for the mobility of the people and goods, sustainable transport is a cross-cutting accelerator that can fast-track progress towards other crucial goals, such as eradicating poverty in all its dimensions, reducing inequality, empowering women, and combating climate change, and so on. So, your guide to action, climate action, transport, whether it's for work or for pleasure. The choices we make on how we get from one place to another, driving, flying, ferrying, biking, scooting, and public transportation, can have a large impact on carbon emissions. Making informed lifestyles choices when it comes to transport can help us reduce carbon emissions and improve air quality. A win-win. So, when we look at the background of this day, recognizing the important role of safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport systems for all in supporting sustainable economic growth, improving the social welfare of people, and enhancing international cooperation and trade among countries, the General Assembly decided to declare 26 November as World Sustainable Transport Day. So it also noted the importance of cooperation in enhancing transport connectivity through an integrated intermodal transport system by developing quality, reliable, sustainable, and resilient infrastructure, exchanging best practices to optimize the development of interconnected highways, roads, streets, railways, waterways, airways, areas of modal transport and ports, and by encouraging transport infrastructure construction, and operations to minimize consumption of energy, land, and other resources. So, generate lower emissions of greenhouse gases, ozone depleting substances, and other pollutants, and ensure a positive social impact. So, the Assembly invited stakeholders to mark World Sustainable Transport Day by means of education and his holding of events aimed at enhancing the knowledge of the public on sustainable transport issues, in particular, enhancing intermodal transport connectivity, promoting environmentally friendly transportation, developing socially inclusive transport, infrastructure, and other aspects of transport sustainability. The first World Sustainable Transport Day reminds us the road to better future depends on a cleaner and greener transportation systems. Transportation system represents the world circulatory system, delivering people and goods across the countries and around the world, creating jobs and supporting prosperity. But it is also fueling climate chaos. The transport sector is responsible for approximately one quarter of all greenhouse gas emissions. 91% of the energy used in motorized transport on land, sea, and air is derived from fossil fuels. This makes the sector one of the most difficult to decarbonize. But we are convinced humanity is up to the challenge of breaking our addiction to climate killing fossil fuels and creating resilient, efficient, and low carbon transportation systems grounded in innovative, renewable energies sources, from electric and solar powered vehicles to renewable aviation fuel sources to massive investments in green public transportation systems to measures like carbon pricing and subsidizes for low carbon fuels. We can steer our societies towards a cleaner and more sustainable path for people and planet. So there is no time to waste. Let's get moving for sustainable transport and sustainable development. Act now, ride a bike. Everyone can help climate change. From the way we travel to the electricity we use, the food we eat, and the things we buy, we can make a difference. The world roadways are clogged with vehicles, most of them burning diesel or gasoline. Walking or riding a bike instead of driving will reduce greenhouse gas emissions and help your health and fitness. So here are few actions for a healthy planet. The Sustainable Development Goals spell out how we can protect our environment and slow climate change from forests to oceans to everywhere in between. Think about your electricity use and your travel. Check your dinner table. Reuse whatever you can. The possibilities for action are many and add up fast. Greenhouse gas emissions per person vary greatly among countries. In the United States of America and the Russian Federation, per capita emissions are almost 3 times the world average of 6.6 tons of CO2 equivalent, while in India and the African Union, they are less than half the world average. Globally, the 10% of the population with the highest income account for nearly half of all emissions. So here are some actions to reduce your impact on the environment. To save energy at home, much of our electricity and heat are produced by coal, oil, and gas. So use less energy by reducing your heating and cooling use, switching to LED light bulbs and energy efficient electric appliances, washing your laundry with cold water or hanging things to dry instead of using a dryer, improving your home's energy efficiency through better insulation, for instance, or replacing your oil or gas furnace with an electric heat pump can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 900 kilograms of CO2e per year. Get more such energy tips. Change your home source of energy. Ask the utility company if your home energy comes from oil, coal, or gas. If possible, see if you can switch to renewable sources such as wind or solar, or install solar panels on our roof to generate or your home. Switching your home from oil, gas, or coal powered energy to renewable energy sources of energy, such as wind or solar, can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 1.5 tons of COE per year. So walk, bike, or take public transport. The world's roadways are clogged with vehicles, most of them burning diesel or gasoline. Walking or riding a bike instead of driving will reduce greenhouse gas emissions and help your health and fitness. For longer distances, considering taking a train or bus and carpool whenever possible. Living car free can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 2 tons of CO2e per year compared to a lifestyle using a car. Switch to an electric vehicle. If you plan to buy a car or any vehicle, consider going electric with more and cheaper models coming on the market. In many countries, electric cars help reduce air pollution and cause significantly fewer greenhouse gas emissions than gas or diesel powered vehicles. But many electric cars still run on electricity produced from fossil fuels, and the batteries and engines require rare minerals, which often come with high environmental and social costs. Switching from a gasoline or diesel powered car to an electric vehicle can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 2 tons of CO2 emissions per year. A hybrid vehicle can save up to 700 kilograms of CO2 emissions per year. Consider your travel. Airplanes burn large amounts of fossil fuels, producing significant greenhouse gas emissions. That makes taking fewer flights one of the fastest ways to reduce your environment impact. When you can meet virtually, take a train uh, or skip the long distance trip altogether. Taking one less long haul return flight can reduce your carbon footprint by up to almost 2 tons of CO2 emissions. Reduce, reuse, repair, and recycle. Electronics, clothes, plastics, and other terms we buy use carbon emissions at each point in production, from the extraction of raw materials to manufacturing and transporting goods to market. To protect the climate, buy fewer things, shop secondhand, and repair what you can. Plastics alone generated 1.8 billion metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions in 2019 and 3.4% of global total. Less than 10% is recycled and 1% is disregarded or discarded. So it can linger for hundreds of years. Buying fewer new clothes and other consumer goods can also reduce your carbon footprint. Every kilogram of textiles produced generates 17 kilograms of CO2 emission. Eat more vegetables. Eating more vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, and less meat and dairy can significantly lower your environmental impact. Producing plant based foods generally results in fewer greenhouse gas emissions and requires less energy, land, and water. Shifting from a mixed to a vegetarian diet can reduce your carbon footprint it by 500 kilograms of CO2 emissions per year, or up to 900 kilograms for a vegan diet. Throw away less food. When you throw away, you are also wasting the resources and energy that are used to grow, produce, package, and transport it. And when the food rots in a landfill, it produces methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. So purchase only what you need and what you buy and compost any leftovers. Cutting your food waste can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 300 kilograms of CO2 emissions per year. Plant native species. If you have a garden or even just a plant of two outside your home, check for native species. Use a plant identification app to help and think about replacing non natives, especially any considered invasive. Plants, animals, and insects depend on each other. Most insects will not eat non native plants, which means birds and other species lose a food source. Biodiversity suffers, even a single tree or shrub can offer a refuge. Just remember to skip insecticides and other chemicals. Clean up your environment. Humans, animals, and plants all suffer from land and water contaminated by improperly discarding garbage. Use what you need, and when you have to throw something out, dispose of it properly, educate others to do the same, and participate in local cleanups of parks, rivers, beaches, and beyond. Every year, people throw out 2 billion tons of trash. About a third causes environment harms from choking water supplies to poisoning soil. Make your money count. Everything we spend money on affects the planet. You have the power to choose which goods and services you support. To reduce your environmental impact, choose products from companies whose resources responsibly and are committed to cutting their gas emissions and waste. If you have the money that is being invested for you through a pension fund, for instance, it may be supporting fossil fuels of deforestation, making sure your savings are invested in environmentally sustainable business can greatly reduce your carbon. Speak up and get others to join taking the action. It's one of the quickest and most effective ways to make a difference. Talk to your neighbors, colleagues, friends, and family. Let business owners know you support bold changes from plastics, free products, and packaging to zero emissions vehicles. Appeal to the local world leaders to act now. Climate action is a task for all of us, and it concerns all of us, and no one can do it alone, but we can do it together. So explore different ideas to take it to the society. So with this, we shall end today's commemoration of World Sustainable Transport Day, and then we'll move on to other commemorations. Today is also commemorated as Constitution Day in India, also known as Samvidhan Divas or Samvidhana Divasa, or also known as National Law Day, which is celebrated in India on 26 November every year to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India on 26 November 1949. The Constituent Assembly of India adopted to the Constitution of India, and it came into effect on 26 January 1950. The Government of India declared 26 November as Constitution Day on 19th November 2015 by a Gazette notification. The Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, made the declaration on 11th October 2015 while laying the foundation stone of the B.R. Ambedkar Statue of Equality Memorial in Mumbai. The year of 2021 was the 131st birthday or birth anniversary of Ambedkar, who had chaired the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly and played a pivotal role in the drafting of the Constitution. Previously, this day was celebrated as a law day. 26 November was chosen to spread the importance of Constitution and to spread thoughts and ideas of Constitution. Though Constitution Day is not a public holiday, various departments of the Government of India celebrated the first Constitution Day. As per the Department of Education and Literacy, the preamble of the Constitution was read in all schools by all students. In addition, there was a quiz and essay competitions, both online and offline, on the subject of the Constitution of India. There was a lecture on salient features of the Constitution in each school. The Department of Higher Education requested various universities to arrange mock parliamentary debates in colleges, and the University Grants Commission arranged an All India quiz competition at Ambedkar University, Lucknow, where quiz winners of all states were participated in history at that time. So let's all together read the preamble of the Constitution of India to celebrate the Constitution Day or Samvidhan Divas. So from your own places, let's all start reading the preamble, the Constitution of India. We, the people, of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. So this is the preamble of the Constitution. So by reading this, we have celebrated and commemorated Constitution Day of India, Samvidhan Divas. This year, the theme is Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Samman, upholding democracy and human rights. As we all know, the Indian Constitution adopted on 26 November 1949 and coming into effect on 26 January 1950 serves as a fundamental document that defines India's democratic, secular, and egalitarian framework. Over the past 7 decades, it has been guided the nation through political, social, and economic transformations, ensuring justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity, and the core principles of the India's governance. These values are celebrated annually on Samvidhan Divas on Constitution. Constitution Day or Samvidhan Divas is observed annually on 26 November to commemorate the adoption of the Indian Constitution. It is a bid to promote constitutional values among citizens. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment announced on 19th November 2015 that the Government of India would celebrate 26 November every year as Constitution Day. So this observance serves as a reminder of the democratic principles that guide the nation. As part of the endeavor to build awareness regarding constitution ideals, the Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Samman campaign has been launched, celebrating India's constitutional spirit. Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Samman campaign, in line with the commitment launched on January 24, 2024 by the Honorable Vice President of the India at the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar International Center, New Delhi, aims to deepen citizens' understanding the Constitution. The year-long campaign seeks to raise awareness about the significance of the Constitution in shaping Indian society and to educate citizens on their legal rights, ensuring that the foundational principles continue to resonate with every Indian. The campaign promotes the following goals: building constitutional awareness, Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Samman, focus on simplifying and popularizing the Constitution core principles for the masses. It helps citizens understand the values of justice, equality, liberty, and fraternity that the Constitution promotes. Through regional events, workshops, and seminars, the campaigns ensures that people from all backgrounds have access to the essential knowledge. Promoting legal rights and responsibilities, the campaign is designed to educate people about their legal rights, duties, and entitlements under the Indian Constitution. This empowers individuals to claim their rights and also ensures that they fulfill their responsibilities towards the nation and society. As part of the initiative, citizens are encouraged to take part in the discussion on their rights, including the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution, such as the right to equality, the right to freedom of speech, and the right to fair trial. Sub-campaigns and thematic initiatives. In addition to main campaign, 3 major sub-themes were launched to focus on specific aspects of constitutional knowledge and democratic engagement. Sabko Nyay, Har Ghar Nyay. The sub-campaign focuses on ensuring that justice is accessible to every citizen. It promotes awareness of the legal mechanisms in place for citizens to seek justice, whether in the courts, through legal aid services, or through reforms aimed at enhancing accessibility of legal institutions across the India. Now Bharat, Now Sankalp. This initiative encourages citizens to think of themselves as an active participation in the democratic process. The focus is on creating a new resolve among citizens to contribute towards building a progressive and inclusive nation by respecting and upholding constitutional values. Panch Pran of Amrit Kal, goal of developed India, remove any trace of colonial mindset, take pride in our root, unity, sense of duty among citizens. Vidhi Jagrati Abhiyan. The Vidhi Jagrati Abhiyan aims to educate people, especially in rural and undeserved areas, about their legal rights and how to access them. This campaign strives to create widespread awareness about the various rights citizens are entitled to under the law, including social welfare benefits, affirmative action policies, and legal protection for marginalized communities. So the year-long Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Samman campaign began its first regional event in Bikaner, inaugurated by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud in March 2024. Regional events have since been held in Bikaner, Prayagraj, and now Guwahati, aiming to engage diverse communities, especially in the Northeast, and promote understanding of the Constitution across India. Digital engagement and citizen partnership. A key element of Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Samman campaign is a digital engagement component. Citizens are encouraged to actively participate through a campaign's dedicated portal, which serves as an online platform for education, engagement, and action. Through this portal, citizens can access resources such as videos, articles, infographics, and quizzes to test their knowledge of the Constitution. It also allows citizens to take pledges and participate in online discussions about the Constitution role in shaping the future of India. The campaign's role in shaping India's vision for 2047. As part of India's 75th year as a republic, the Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Samman campaign supports the vision of Viksit Bharat, developed India by 2047. So it encourages citizens to uphold constitutional values, respect democratic practices, principles, and engage in legal and political process, shaping the nation's future. By promoting constitutional awareness and its practical application, the campaign aims to empower citizens to protect constitution and contribute to building an inclusive, democratic, and prosperous India. Government's role in providing quality legal aid, Disha, designing innovative solutions for holistic access to justice scheme. The tele-law program under Disha connects marginalized individuals with panel lawyers for free legal advice at the pre-litigation stage through video or telephonic constitution at common service centers, CSCs, at the Panchayat level. Launched in 2017, it is also accessible via the tele-law mobile app. Paralegal volunteers, PLVs, in short, act as intermediaries, bringing the gap between citizens and the service, while village level entrepreneurs, in short known as VLEs, assist with registration. State coordinators ensure effective implementation across states and union territories. Nyaya Bandhu, pro bono legal services. Nyaya Bandhu is a Government of India initiative that connects practicing advocate willing to offer free legal services to marginalized beneficiaries via mobile technology. The Department of Justice aims to strengthen this network by establishing pro bono panels in each High Court, curated and managed by the respective courts. This will ensure the program's effective integration into the judicial systems for optical impact. So, Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Samman reflects the India's unwavering commitment to upholding the principles of justice, equality, and liberty enshrined in the Constitution. The campaign is not only fostering legal awareness, but also empowering every citizen from the village to the urban centers with the tools to safeguard their rights. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemoration of Constitution Day, National Law Day on Samvidhan Divas. Today is also commemorated as Anti-Obesity Day. Anti-Obesity Day is observed on November 26th of every year in US. The goal of this day is to highlight how obesity is a public health hazard and encourage people to work towards ending it. It was created in 2001 by the Indian wellness brand VLCC with the active involvement of the medical fraternity and other key stakeholders in all countries where it has presence. As part of an annual campaign conducted in November and December to promote the development of good lifestyle habits to stay healthy and fit. During the 1930s, life insurance companies in the United States started screening potential clients for body weight, and in the 1950s, doctors openly linked increasing rates of obesity with subsequent increases in the diagnosis of heart diseases. The prevalence of obesity didn't change much during the 1960s and 70s, but it escalated sharply starting from 1980s when the obesity rate was 13.4%. However, it wasn't until the year 2000 that the number of people who were overweight or obese was greater than the number of those who were underweight. In a 2011 to 2012 National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, which was reported in a 2012 issue of the Journal of the American Medical Association, it was revealed that the obesity in the US had skyrocketed to 34.9%. So the Indian wellness brand VLCC created National Anti-Obesity Day in 2001 with the active involvement of the medical fraternity and other key stakeholders in all countries where it has a presence, including The United States, it was part of an annual campaign conducted in November and December to promote the development of a good lifestyle habits to stay healthy and fit. In 2012, VLCC tied up with the United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, to launch a nutrition availability imbalance awareness building initiative, the Global Balance Program, a public communication campaign that has been recognized as one of the best corporate social responsibility awareness building campaigns in the world by World Economic Forum, WEF. Today is also commemorated as National Cake Day or International Cake Day in US. Cake is baked food usually made out of flour, sugar, and other ingredients. In its oldest forms, cakes were modifications of bread, a more sophisticated type, but these days cakes cover a wide range of baked sweets such as pastries, pies, etc. Cake is often served at ceremonial occasions such as weddings, anniversaries, and birthdays. There are numerous cake recipes, many of which are centuries old. Today is also commemorated as World Lewis Day, which is observed November 26th every year, serves to raise awareness about the hundreds of koalas who have been passed or has been displaced due to recent Australian bushfires and encourages people to donate to charity groups working to help them in any way they can. The Australian Koala Foundation is founded to diminish the dangers of the survival of koalas and to raise awareness to protect endangered fauna and flora. Following a prolonged drought, deadly bushfires spark in Australia. Lewis the koala dies 1 week after getting rescued due to severe burns on Lewis the koala saddened on November 20, 2020. The country's most devastating bushfire season on record gradually comes to an end on March 31st, 2020. So the AKF is a non-profit foundation and non-government organization dedicated to the conservation and effective management of the koala and its habitat. So visit their site to figure out how you can help and make a difference. If you live in koala inhabited area, plant eucalyptus in your yard or add another source of food. The recent Australian fires not only burned down the homes of hundreds of koalas, but also the leaves they need to survive. Planting gum trees and eucalyptus trees gives your local koalas a fighting chance and a food for them. Hundreds of koalas are still displaced due to recent Australian bushfire. If you live in Australia, volunteer to help locate the furry marsupials and bring them to the nearest koala hospital. Prior to viral video where few people outside of Australia were aware of the roaring bushfires harming not only koalas but also other wildlife and people. Because of the levees, thousands of are rushing to donate to the families and koalas who have lost their homes due to devastating occurrence. People living near Australia's recent fire zone are rushing to volunteer. Levy's rescue and his fight in the hospital brought to light just how dangerous the conditions are for the hundreds of other koalas in need of help. Tony Doherty, the Australian grandmother seen in the viral video, used the shut off her back in order to rescue Lewis, who had climbed up a tree to escape the flames. Tony put herself in danger and risked her own life in order to save the life of a small creature. She has inspired countless people to keep an eye out for local wildlife who may be in need of a rescue of their own. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we will move on to today's presentations. So we have one presentation by Mr. Pradeep, who is an animal activist working for animal welfare and also recently taken a financial advisor as a financial advisor, freelance. So we welcome you, Pradeep, for your presentation on status of animals and legal protection in India. Now you can unmute yourself, start your video. and presentation.
Pranay sir, for the wonderful introduction. A very good evening, one and all, to all the participants and also the dignitaries and this on international platform. First of all, I would like to uh, thank the organizers and also the participants. So, so today is being the Samvidhan Din Divas, and we call it as Constitutional Day. So, for Constitution has given us a lot of rights. Uh, um, as sir has mentioned about right to equality, fraternity, and many other things. So the animals also do have the rights. So today I'm going to talk about the status of animals and legal protection in India. Just a moment, I'll be sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Pradeep, please continue.
Thanks a lot, sir. So landscape of animals. As you've seen that India being a land of ahimsa, and animals are also mix of our tradition and culture. And moreover, we have many laws, many moral legislations and judicial interpretations for the protection of animals. Over the years, there also have been a growing needs to safeguard and protect animals from cruelty and exploitations. Uh, if we can see where we have in India, we have various legislations enacted by the government of India to safeguard the interest of animals, importance of their rights, and there are also legislative measures to protect the animal welfare and treat them with fair treatment of animals to free from cruelty and respect their rights. Going on to the further, if we can look into the constitution and animal protection, so then there is an excess of relation with them. India, like unlike many countries, like the Western countries, we have the very good laws and which are aimed in protecting the animals. When you talk about the Constitution of India as a supreme law uh, to addresses the protection of animals, we have two things. One is the fundamental duties, uh, that is uh, fundamental rights, we call them, and we have the directive principles of state policies. So, if you can talk about them, Article 21, which we called as right to life. So it is applicable for humans also. Like for same thing, if we talk about animals, means we are we're discussing with animal rights. So every species uh, has its right to life, and security is subject to the law of land, and which includes depriving its life. Which includes safeguarding its life without human intervention of any human necessity. So, like us, animals also have right to live, and without any suffering and implication, they have their own right to live in this planet. And when we talk about the state principles, Article 48A, the Constitution, which mandates that the state shall be deemed to protect and improve environment. It's the every state. It's not about the only particular states and all every state, and also the for UTs, union territories, it's different. So to protect and improve environment and safeguard the country's forests and wildlife. So it is very important as mandated by the constitution for different states to safeguard the rights of the and to improve the environment, that means free from plastic and everything, and to provide a healthy environment where flora and fauna is there, and at the same time protecting the forests. Forests are home to many various species, and also it is livelihood to many of the people. So protecting them is very much important. And the wildlife is plays a crucial role because every species uh, plays a crucial part of our ecosystem. So safeguarding them is also the state's deemed responsibility for that. And when we talk about the fundamental duties, Article 51 AG, it shall be the fundamental duty to safeguard and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, and rivers, and to have and also wildlife animals, and have a compassion towards all living creatures. So, being it a human being or anything, any living creature, so it's the fundamental duty to have a compassion towards all living creatures. So, if we're going further, when we talk about the, we have discussed about the various fundamental duties, directive principles, and what are the actually the acts which are pertaining to the preventing the cruelty towards animals. When we talk about the cruelty towards animals, we have a very wonderful act which is enacted by the legislation in the parliament, that's in the year of 1960 by the Rukmini Devi earlier. She is a classical dancer, and she's also an animal activist, and she's the first person to introduce the Animal Protection PC Act, Provision of Cruelty to Animals Act, as a private member bill parliament. Later on, it was enacted by the member parliament in the year 1960. What is called Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, which this is the year it has been enacted. So we call it as prevent year. Since it has been enacted in the year, so we term as Prevention of Cruelty towards Animals Act 1960. And from that, we have many legislations, many sections included. When you talk about the Section 11, which talks about the many of the subsection laws, and major of them is BNS 325, which previously we used to have IPC, Indian Penal Code, thanks to the mm, government, and also the traditional colonials has been replaced, and now it's been the new law which is called as Bharatiya Nyaya Shiksha Samiti, which we call as BNS. So under BNS Act 325, killing or maiming of any animal is a punishable offense. So the range of punishment varies according to the offense, and it will range around between 5 to 7 years of imprisonment, depending upon the committed of the offense. And we have the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, so where it actually protects for the exclusively for the wildlife conservation of wildlife, and also the trees, flora and fauna. And we have many of the amendments in it. So I'm not going to depth in it as for the time constraint. And when we talk about the judgments, like humans, we have landmark judgments for animals. So one of the most thing which we being recognized for the in India is the Animal Welfare Board of India versus A. Nagaraja in the year of 2004. The Supreme Court has laid the guidelines treating the animals uh, like cattle markets and transportation should be banned, and the use of bulls and bullocks for events like Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu, and also many of the Maharashtra that should the kart races. So it is completely a violation of PCA Act, and the judgment actually emphasizes the importance of compassion towards animals and need to prevent their exploitation for human entertainment. So when we talk about this, we need to analyze for further more. So basically, the Supreme Court has mentioned that the animals, especially farm animals, when we talk about the transportation, when you see about the transportation of animals, they experience a lot of pain and suffering. They have been nose roped, they have been tied, and some are subjected to chili powder in their eyes. So a lot of the pain is there. So taking into the consideration, even the Animal Welfare Board of India is a statutory body, which is under the Ministry of Forest and Climate Change, and at the same now it's been Ministry of Dairy and Farming, which has moved to Ministry of Dairy and Farming, and which actually deals with the enforcing the PCA Act, that is Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Acts and legislations and all. So here, when they moved to the Supreme Court, so there was uh, a judgment passed by Supreme Court that the transportation of animals should be banned in a very like how the transportation of the cattle, that's in a very unhygienic and unfilthy condition. It should be banned, and at the same time, the use of bulls and bullocks, any like when we talk about animal fights or and at the same time and also when we talk about the bullock cart races, so it is completely violation of the BC Act. And it also, the judgment mainly focuses on the one need to have compassion towards animals and prevent the unnecessary suffering, and that means prevent their exploitation for human entertainment. And we have the second case law, which is Animal Welfare Board of India versus People for Elimination of Stray Troubles in the year of 2009. So this was in the Kerala, where there was a lot of killing of dogs, stray dogs were there. So the killing of the stray dogs cannot be solved the problem, because where the dogs will be occupied by the other feral dogs, which they were not aware of it. And moreover, even Animal Birth Control Rules 2001, which has stated that clearly that uh, animal birth, which clearly states it is inhuman and ineffective way of handling the uh, ineffective way for controlling the stray dog population. Whereas, performing the birth control operations, and that is animal birth control and anti-rabies vaccination, which proved to be very effective ways to control the stray population, and this proves to be a very effective way. Even during the case of the landmark judgment, Animal Welfare Board of India was People for Elimination of Strays and Troubles in ORS. In this was in the year of 2009. The judgment passed by the Supreme Court, they has clearly mentioned that uh, there should be humane way of controlling the stray dog population that could be only possible for the animal birth control program and anti-rabies vaccination. This judgment highlights the importance of being compassionate and needs a scientific approach. That means in way of dealing with human and dog conflicts, one need to have an approach for need to be taken into the humane manner, not in a inhuman way, and that too in a scientific way to reduce the human and animal conflicts. And we have the Gauri versus the Union of India in the year of 2014. In this case, Supreme Court banned the uh, cosmetic testing of products on animals. So earlier we used to any products or any cosmetics in India, mostly they used to perform on animals. Uh, so which causes inherent suffering for the animals. If you can see, the bunnies are also beagles. They have been subjected for a lot of pain and trauma, because beagles have the highest olfactory senses. Like even dogs also have that, but beagles have the acute sense for that. So they have suffered a lot for testing of this cosmetic products, and so under the Performance of Animals Act, and also we have the committee called CPCSC, which monitors the animal testing. So in the year 2014, the judgment was passed by the Supreme Court of India to inherently and the cruel way of cosmetic testing, and they emphasize the need for human way, that cruelty free alternatives. Besides the animal testing, besides of anything, there are many other alternative ways of performing the cosmetic products, which can be maybe you can many of the alternative ways such as uh, plants. We can use plant extracts or any other things, and we have also scientific ways we can use many of the things like experimentation of animals. Even we, instead of experimentation of animals, we can use any robo or any other things. So that could we have nowadays 3D printers and many other advanced technologies. So this doesn't require animals for the cosmetic testing and all. So the decision may signal India commitment to the animal welfare and align with the global efforts to emulate the testing in the cosmetic industry. Because India was one of the fewest countries in India, across the world to end the cosmetic testing. Uh, and moving on to the further, we have the illegal trade and smuggling of animals. So in the illegal trade and smuggling of animals, we can have this wildlife and also process a very this illegal trade, illegal trade and smuggling of animal process inhuman process of created theft for wildlife and also even for domestic animals. In the if you can see the court judgment in the Gauri Mulki versus the Union of State of India in the year 2016, the Supreme Court of India prohibited the illegal trafficking of cattle to Nepal for the Gadimai festival. Gadimai is one of the festival which is happening in Nepal. For that, many of the cattle were illegally illegally passed to the borders of the Nepal. So it is a illegal way of trafficking the cattle and subjected to a lot of pain, and it is one of the largest suffering of the animal festival, I would say, because a lot of animals have been suffered and slaughtered for that. So the court also prohibited the illegal trafficking of the cattle to the Nepal and ensured the proper BSF border security force and also many other military forces other who are there to ensure that the cattle which were transported to the neighbor part of the countries has a valid certificate and all the details to enter to the Nepal, country of Nepal. And in conclusion, India being in a land of ahimsa, and we have a strides of legal protection of animals with many judgments, and also many other work in coming days, like amendments are going up to ensure that effective implementation of animal laws and foster the culture of compassion towards animals. As a citizen, duty to uphold the principle of animal rights, welfare ensured in the Constitution, and advocate this right. In a culture of respecting animals, caring for animals in our tradition. So it is also an important way that recognizing the intrinsic value of animals and respecting their welfare, we can create just a more compassionate society for all living beings. So with that, I am ending the presentation. Thanks a lot, everyone, for so patiently listening to me, and thanks a lot to the organizers, Dr. Ravinder sir, and also Sri Holistic Health Foundation and Srikas. So thank you, one and all, for this wonderful opportunity. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. You can type in the chat box, or else you can unmute yourself. If the organizer permits.
Thank you, Pradeep. Today is also more relevant as we are talking about constitution. we are also we are also focusing on environment, plants, nature, biodiversity. So that is also equally important, enshrined in the law, in the constitution. But unfortunately, we are violating not only many things that are there in the constitution. Unfortunately, citizens, due to lack of awareness or due to lack of moral consciousness, people still continue to violate, but majority of the citizens abide. That's why we have peace and harmony prevailing. But because of some people who are violating, it is creating a huge problem for everyone. So this should be addressed, and this impact of that very few people who violate, how it is creating a huge impact on the entire population, a huge population, that needs to be brought into the limelight so that those few people who are violating are deterring themselves voluntarily than through the law enforcement, and more such thing untoward incidents does not happen in future. And even the plants, flora and fauna, animals, and environment, nature, everyone lives in harmony with each other. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. The participants, if you have any queries, you can share in chat box, or if you want to add to this, feel free. I think Virendra Kumarji is there, who is also an advocate, RTI activist. If sir wants to add something, you are free to add on this day. Virendra Kumarji, if you are free, there is no voluntarily, if you would like to add something, because it is just unplanned, you are free to unmute yourself, start your video, if you can, because we don't want to trouble you as such. Or anyone else would like to share, feel free. Okay, I think there are no further comments or suggestions. So thank you, congratulations. We wish you all the success for your future endeavors. So now the commemorations are also done. Pradeep, I think you had some, presentation to show the children's drawing.
Yes, sir.
So would you be able to show that so that it will become part of this? If you
Yes, sir.
have it in laptop, you can share it.
Yeah, just a minute.
If the child is available or the mother is also available, she can also unmute and share, or she can present what it is exactly. So what I will do to enable, in the meanwhile, we request everyone to quickly fill up the registration form so that we can close and open the feedback. Those who have not filled the registration form in the Zoom polls, we request everyone to quickly fill the form. I'm giving permission to all to unmute and also start your video if anyone wants to, unmute and share. In this you have that drawing one.
Yes, sir. That my drawing. Actually, is supposed to be presented on the Children's Day itself. So,
It's okay, no issue. Because this entire series belongs to one program. It doesn't matter.
so yeah. So this was the presentation. This was a drawing, which was made by Srihans. So Srihans is a like is a eighth grade student. He's studying in Green Valley School in Gujarat. Uh, so he has beautifully portrayed about the need for the conserving our water. I mean, saving water and also saving earth. So his drawing was one of the epitome, like the younger generation needs to be more aligned to conserve towards nature. And children are more inclined to this nature, and because they are like they like to be with animals and they want to play with the soil and everything, whatever it may be. So, but nowadays the touch has been lost, maybe because of the technological advancements, gadgets, and long study hours, and they don't have the proper time for the creativity. Uh, uh, Parents also very, because they leave all onto the education institution itself. So in that, I would like to thank Devi. Devi is Srihan's mother, so who was very kind enough to encourage Srihan's in her art, and also letting know the importance of the uh, how art can be explored, like how art can be provide an awareness about various initiatives in conserving our nature and also animals and also the earth. So this is one of the has been done by Shihant, and another one is this. So it's good. I hope Devi is here. So Devi, if you are here, you can mute yourself. Uh, you can unmute yourself and you can share
She left the
your
meeting now.
views.
She is not available now. She was there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine. Anyway, not an issue. So, congratulations, Srihans Nagar. At least, you have come forward and you have put a wonderful drawing. Let's appreciate everyone. And yeah, you can send the boys' details to us through email or
Sure.
through form. We will
Yeah.
issue a certificate for that child.
Okay.
Thank you, Pradeep, for
Thank you.
presenting. I thought if she was there, we could have appreciated her as well for encouraging. Anyway, fine, no issues. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations, and we thank everyone for joining us, and we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which is being shared in the form of polls. The feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before leaving the platform. So thank you everyone for joining us. Keep joining us every day, and let's keep contributing and be part of the world's largest UN SDGs and Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav program that is happening. And we all are proud of that we are consistently, persistently being part and joining every day to make it a grand success. So we acknowledge all your efforts, and definitely one day all our efforts will definitely yield fruits. Nothing comes in one day. Even if you plant a tree, you plant a sapling, it will take its own time to grow up and fruits, flowers and fruit to blossom and turn it into fruits. So we have to wait till the time. So we need to have patience, endurance, persistence, commitment, dedication towards it to get something which we haven't got or which we haven't yet done it. So if we want to get something that we haven't got it till now, we have to do something that we haven't done till now. Then only we'll be able to get that which we haven't got till now. So with that, on this Constitution Day, let's realign, reassign, recommit ourselves to take this forward with much more commitment, dedication, motivation. And let's not go with the numbers. We all, whoever is attending, are wonderful souls with great commitment, great dedication. That itself is enough. Slowly, things will catch up, and beyond our capacities, we are doing. That itself, is a great courage to all of us that we are still able to do much better. So I once again wholeheartedly congratulate you. Thank you. And definitely one day we'll all be proud of ourselves for our time, commitment, dedication, and also make our entire nation proud with this program and events. Thank you once again. See you all tomorrow, the same time. Take care. Good night.